Hi Neha, welcome to the Bharat Conversation. Today I'm very excited to talk to you about the business of sports.
Khelo India is one such initiative and उसका main purpose ये है कि हम grassroots talent को लेके आएं. Where India really needs to look at it is to have a bigger talent pool of athletes where the recognition of talent comes in much sooner.
Neeraj Chopra, I think he has really changed the game into something like I did not even know कि javelin हम खेलते थे. Like till he won that, and individual sports and an individual sports person has become that important versus just the group sports that we play.
Para games that they did with Khelo India, and for that, can you imagine to bring down so many para athletes from across states to Delhi and to run an entire massive para event over there on the grassroots level? It was a never before, and it was completely managed by Sports Authority. And most of the big corporates that you'll see today in India have a sports division or a sports arm.
When Neeraj Chopra was going in for his throw, it was 5.1 crore people on Jio Cinema.
And when you said sports is entertainment, athleisure is a space which becomes far more applicable to everybody. So I may not be playing any sport, but I'd love those sneakers. When he did the throw, and I looked at the Times of India sports pages, I was so happy to see not one cricket coverage had come. That is rare.
Let's talk about an industry which has grown 4 times in the last 10 years. Sports. It's also now replacing entertainment as the go-to choice. This time, 5.1 crore Indians joined in to watch Neeraj Chopra throw his javelin. आज हमने हमारी गेस्ट नेहा माथुर के साथ स्पोर्ट्स इंडस्ट्री में एक डीप डाइव लिया. अंडरस्टैंडिंग मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कैसे होती है, अंडरस्टैंडिंग आउटसाइड ऑफ बीइंग अ स्पोर्ट्स पर्सन व्हाट कुड बी योर करियर in this sector which is growing so fast. So join us today to understand this more. Hi Neha, welcome to the Bharat Conversation. Today I'm very excited to talk to you about the business of sports. आपकी जर्नी नेहा रही है पिछले 20 साल में in sports communication and marketing. So share a little bit about your journey and then we'll get more talking about the business of sports.
Sure. Thank you so much for having me, first of all. And it's been a very exciting journey. I've been working for the past 20 years, and it's hard to say that now when I put it all together, out of which the past 16 years have been very focused on sports and brands. So I've been a communications person throughout. And when I started out, it started in pure play PR and communications, media. And I worked the agency life for a good 5-6 years. And then at that point in time, the thought of trying entrepreneurship came up. And the idea was to go a little more deeper and specialize in certain fields, which were less served at that point in India. And in 2009, very few people were looking at sports at that point in time.
That's true.
But I had a bit of exposure with motorsport and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And that made me realize that, okay, this is an area which is exciting, interesting, and new. And of course, there was the world of brands, and both actually come together pretty well as well.
Right.
So from there, I started my journey with Wordswork, a company that I founded in 2009 and never looked back, luckily.
Great.
And it so happened out of luck and fate that even the industry grew a lot in the last 10 years. And with that growth of the industry, our role also evolved over the years into what we're doing. Like you said, it's not just communications, it's a bit of marketing communications as well now that's come in. Plus an advisory role in various capacities. So I think it's a great time to be in sports right now. And I'm glad to be a part of the industry.
That's awesome. And actually, I think right now, from a time perspective with the Olympics and the Paralympics and IPL that just got done and, the World Cup before that, we've really, I felt at least personally, पहले क्या होता था कि you would have one tournament or one event and there was a dry spell. Now sports is in a very consistent, there's something being churned out in a very consistent manner. अब मैं यही बात कर रही थी कि मुझे लगने लगा कि sports has replaced old stay entertainment. The way people indulge in sports, even from a spectator perspective and how you're involved, बहुत बदल गया है. और उसकी वजह से जो इंडस्ट्री है, जैसे आपने कहा कि काफ़ी बड़ी हुई है. I think you were just mentioning कि it's grown 4 times.
Absolutely. Last 10 years, I was just reading in a Group M report, it's grown 4 times over. I think it really helps that both the government side and the corporate side has deeply invested into sports or has a keen interest in sports now. And you're absolutely also correct to say that it needs to move into the entertainment space. It already has
Yeah,
to a large
yeah,
extent.
yeah,
So what used to be a very serious tick in the box saying sporting events
yeah,
now has become a spectator's event
yeah.
and it has become a fan's event. And I think that is where the commerce kicks in as well into sports. So what used to be seasonal
Yeah.
is now through the year. And I remember between all my team's initial days and initial years, we just had seasons for sports. We used to say
right.
season is starting now.
Right.
Now there's no season.
Exactly.
Through the year, you have a lot of events, tournaments, initiatives that are coming up. And that has grown due to many, many factors, of course. But I think, like I said, it is really important to understand what has made this growth or what has made this journey. And we all need to contribute towards it then.
Exactly. So नेहा ये बताएं कि अभी तक हम लोग यही सोचा करते थे कि अगर कोई स्पोर्ट्स में जाना चाहते हैं तो उनको स्पोर्ट्स पर्सन बनना चाहिए, राइट? उसके लिए एक बचपन से इनेट टैलेंट थोड़ा सा होना चाहिए और ऑब्वियसली उसकी तैयारी ओवर द इयर्स होनी चाहिए. बट आई थिंक अब जो इंडस्ट्री इतनी बड़ी हो चुकी है, कैन यू शेड सम लाइट ऑन आउटसाइड ऑफ बीइंग अ स्पोर्ट्स पर्सन, अगर मैं स्पोर्ट्स इंडस्ट्री का पार्ट होना चाहती हूँ तो क्या डिफरेंट टाइप के रोल्स या करियर ऑप्शंस है मेरे लिए?
बिल्कुल, आई थिंक स्पोर्ट्स इंडस्ट्री को अगर हम लें तो स्पोर्ट्स टैलेंट उसका एक पार्ट है.
राइट.
बट उसके अलावा भी बहुत ज़्यादा और चीज़ें हैं. तो आप जैसे कोई भी बिजनेस लेते हैं तो उसमें डिफरेंट डिफरेंट डिपार्टमेंट्स होते हैं.
राइट.
तो उसको आप विजुलाइज करिए इन द वर्ल्ड ऑफ स्पोर्ट्स. तो उसमें आपका फाइनेंस भी होगा, मार्केटिंग भी होगा, एचआर भी होगा, ट्रेनिंग भी होगी. उसके साथ आपका सीएसआर भी होगा. अब ये सब चीज़ों को आप स्पोर्ट्स वर्ल्ड के साइड से देखिएगा.
जी.
तो व्हाट हैपेंस इज कि जैसे फाइनेंस के साइड पे यू हैव स्पोर्ट्स स्पॉन्सरशिप्स. To raise sponsorships for sports or to invest into sports is a subset in itself. And उसमें skill चाहिए होती है. You need to understand how to pitch for sports, how to create sponsorship opportunities, whether it's for an individual athlete या किसी टीम के लिए आप कर रहे हो. तो उसमें एक अलग skill चाहिए होती है जो management skill होती है. फिर होते हैं ground operations. कोई भी sporting event ले लीजिए, जो आपको फील्ड पे दिख रहा है वो एथलीट है. लेकिन उसको बनाने के लिए इफ़ यू लुक एट द पेरिफरी, कैमरामैन होते हैं, ब्रांडिंग टीम होती है जो वहाँ पे ब्रांडिंग लगाती है, लोग वहाँ पे पेरिफरी में घूम रहे होते हैं ऑप्स लगाने के लिए, फैन मैनेजमेंट होता है वहाँ पे कि जो फैंस आ रहे हैं उनको कैसे मैनेज करें, गेटिंग कैसे करें, टिकटिंग कैसे करें, और उसके बाद जो पवेलियंस होते हैं उनको कैसे मैनेज करें, एंटरटेनमेंट उसका एफ&बी कैसे मैनेज करें. तो अगर आप एक स्टेडियम को ही देख लो इन अ वेरी माइक्रो वे, उसी के अंदर आपको इतने सारे रोल्स दिख जाएंगे जो अलग अलग लोग निभाते हैं और उसी के हिसाब से हमारे जॉब्स भी होते हैं. सो यू हैव ऑपरेशंस, यू हैव फाइनेंस, फिर आप मार्केटिंग में आ जाइए. मार्केटिंग में जैसे हम काम करते हैं मीडिया के साथ, स्पोर्ट्स मीडिया इज़ अ डिफरेंट इंडस्ट्री ऑल्सो बाय इटसेल्फ. स्पोर्ट्स के इतने चैनल्स हैं, ब्रॉडकास्ट चैनल्स हैं, उसमें जो टैलेंट होती है बोथ इन फ्रंट ऑफ कैमरा, बिहाइंड द कैमरा, वो एक और चीज़ हो गई. और उसके अलावा आई थिंक देयर इज़ सो मच टू डू ऑन द स्पोर्ट्स साइंस साइड ऑफ थिंग्स एज वेल. तो जो एथलीट्स को ट्रेनिंग देते हैं, और आजकल ट्रेनिंग इज़ नॉट जस्ट प्योर कोचिंग, उसमें टेक्निकल चीज़ें भी आ गई हैं. और उसमें या तो आप ले लीजिए हाई परफॉर्मेंस को लेके, जो हमारे टेक्निकल कोचेस होते हैं उनकी स्किल बहुत अलग होती है, बायोमैकेनिक्स की तरफ होती है फॉर एग्जांपल. एंड स्पोर्ट्स साइकोलॉजी इज ऑल्सो बिकम अ बिग थिंग. Being a dietitian in sports is a separate skill altogether. Sports nutrition is a different thing. So what I'm trying to say is कि जो भी हमारे business world में skills हैं, उसको specialized way में आप sports में apply कर सकते हैं, as you would see any other industry. And it's very interesting to see it from that lens because आप जब athletes और sporting ecosystem में काम करते हैं तो थोड़े से dynamics change हो जाते हैं हर skill के, but every skill is needed to be able to run the sports ecosystem.
I think
that's interesting.
No, it's very interesting because दो चीजें हैं, राइट? जब आप इसके बारे में बात करें थे, आई थिंक इवन मैंने कभी यही सोचा था कि जैसे एक स्पोर्ट्स पर्सन होता है, अराउंड देम यू रीड अबाउट द मेंटल कोचेस, फिजिकल कोचेस, जो आप बोल रही थी, फिजियोथेरेपिस्ट, बायोमैकेनिक्स, वो मैं फिर भी सोच चुकी थी. बट I never really thought about it that the way you said it, कि even you need a finance person to go out there and get the sponsorships. That's a completely different skill set, right? So I think with the industry growing, do you see कि इसमें job opportunities उतनी हैं या हमारी workforce to the opportunity match है, या it's like a skew right now?
बिल्कुल अभी match नहीं है.
अच्छा.
So I think the huge opportunity is that industry is growing faster than talent. एंड इसमें टैलेंट जो कभी कभी अभी तक तो बाय एक्सीडेंट आ रहा था
अच्छा
कि ओके आई एम अ PR पर्सन, नाउ
हम्म
आई लुक एट स्पेशलाइजिंग इन स्पोर्ट्स, और आई एम अ जर्नलिस्ट, नाउ आई स्पेशलाइज इन स्पोर्ट्स,
या
या मैं फाइनेंस में हूँ और अब मैं स्पोर्ट्स स्पॉन्सरशिप करना चाहता हूँ. तो a lot of people who have come into the industry till now
हम्म
are driven by passion. They enjoy sports, they're a fan or they're an ex-athlete or something like that. किसी
sure
ने कुछ या तो खेला है या देखा है या फैन है, तभी वो सोच रहे हैं कि वो स्पोर्ट्स इंडस्ट्री में काम करेंगे. But you can look at sports in a very different way also. Like to admit to you, मैंने कभी बचपन में स्पोर्ट्स नहीं खेला था. I was a culturally oriented child.
okay
But I have looked at sports as a business.
right
And that hasn't taken away from my passion towards it. It has grown. But you can look at it like that as well. So I just feel कि people need to come into the industry more, and that will only happen जब awareness बढ़ेगी कि आप इसमें काम कर सकते हो और इसमें काम करने का long term gain भी है. So I think once people see a proper career path and proper education in this side, then only they'll be able to see it as a viable career option as well.
It's a and to just add to that, I think viable तो एक है ही. मुझे personally लगता है the way I have seen it grow and probably projecting into the future as well is that there is a sufficient amount of money in this business, right? वो एक बहुत underplayed था. अभी जो हमने एक तो हमने देखना शुरू किया अपने athletes के साथ ही, right? Till maybe 10 years back, you had your star players in 2 sports or 3 sports, right? You have the Leander Paces of the world and you have probably the Sunil Gavaskars. I'm talking about that generation. Then the democratization of cricket with T20 and, वो उसमें इतने सारा talent आने लगा. और अब तो I think Indian Super League, Kabaddi League, volleyball, tennis.
League culture has grown a lot,
Yeah.
and a lot of the economics are coming from league culture also because उसमें opportunities होती हैं involvement में. Because otherwise sports अगर आप basic level पे देखोगे तो होता क्या है, it's very driven by government initiatives and the setup that's already there. तो आपकी एक Olympic Association है,
Right.
federations हैं हर sports के, उनके tournament schedules होते हैं और लोग खेलते हैं, तो उसमें very basic sponsorship opportunities होती हैं. बट अगर आप कोई स्पोर्ट्स को लीग की तरफ लेके जाते हैं तो उसमें बहुत अपॉर्चुनिटीज आ जाती हैं. यू हैव द अपॉर्चुनिटी टू नॉट जस्ट स्पॉन्सर बट टू ओन अ टीम,
Yeah.
टू ओन अ फ्रेंचाइज. देन यू हैव अ ह्यूज अपॉर्चुनिटी इन रनिंग दीज इवेंट्स बिकॉज वो ओपन इवेंट्स होते हैं.
Right.
उसको कोई भी मैनेज कर सकता है. सो यू डू इट इन कोलैबोरेशन विद द एथलीट्स हु बिलोंग टू दैट स्पोर्ट एंड द इकोसिस्टम दैट एग्जिस्ट. बट उसमें अपॉर्चुनिटी होती है फॉर ब्रांड्स टू गेट मोर इन्वॉल्व्ड
Right.
in the sports ecosystem and also build towards the entertainment side.
So tell me something now you talked about the league culture that has come in. Can you help us understand that a little bit more?
Yeah.
Because मुझे भी, I think barring IPL and that was like a long time back, when I started reading up कि अब state wise भी leagues हो रही हैं, how does that really work in
Yeah.
terms of the
I
business?
think why leagues as a format are getting popular
हाँ,
is because of the reason I just told you, because it allows for more involvement.
right.
In the long run, and it's also great for building culture of sport. जो आप अगर US देखेंगे, going on any weekend to watch some sport is part of their culture. College
Athletics,
sports is huge
it's
there.
massive. It's
The entire
massive.
city comes to watch a
Yeah.
college football, American football match, for example. The stadium is packed with people because it's part of their culture.
Yeah.
To grow that culture for sport, you have to get out of that pure governance level of ecosystem where it's only about serious competitions, जहाँ पे general public नहीं access कर सकती है. So that is the first step to open up, like you said, democratize the sport a bit. And whether you look at cricket or you look at any other sport, the success of it lies in the fact कि आप इसको long term की तरफ से देख रहे हैं. A lot of leagues have come and gone also,
Oh, अच्छा.
as you might have noticed or may actually have not noticed,
I have
right?
probably not noticed, yes.
So the thing is that a league will come and go if you're just looking at it as a one-hit wonder, or you're just saying, okay, let's just do this year and we'll figure it out next year, or you tend to overprice it and undersell it, or whatever reasons there are. But I think there are only 3 leagues in India which have gone beyond 10 years right now. IPL, of course, being one of them. The Kabaddi League is there.
Yeah.
And then there is the ISL, the Super League.
Yeah.
And probably the reason why all 3 have sustained is because they have got very solid backing on the ownership side as well as the management side to run it in a long term like a business. So, the Pro Kabaddi League, of course, has Mashal running it, which is partly owned by Star Sports. And they're the ones who all packaged the sport, took it from the mat to a stadium, made it modern. Modernization of the sport is also very important.
Very important.
You have to make it spectator friendly as well. So sometimes a league also transforms a sport into being a little more spectator friendly for it to have that economic kick in. Because unless you have fans, unless you have stadium, unless you have broadcast, the sport will not survive in the league format
Right.
as well.
So, coming back to that, अब जैसे कि I saw that there's a Maharaja League, I think, in
Karnataka.
Karnataka, right? And there's an MP now, Premier League as well.
Delhi's happening right now as well.
Oh, well
Yeah.
then. I mean, so there you go. And then, of course, the women versions of that, right? The
WPL as well.
WPL as well.
Yeah.
Usme, see, IPL and all, or the top state, then someone will assume, these are assumptions कि शायद मैं गोरखपुर से हूँ, मैं कहाँ जाके IPL में कहाँ से, how do I even break in, right? But the regional spots that are happening or the leagues that are happening, I believe some talent वो locally भी ढूंढ रहे होंगे क्योंकि वो वहाँ की understanding आपको है on ground की, so that helps. So can you help me understand कि अगर हम ऐसी जगह से कोई, just taking an example, कोई जाना चाहता है from one city into their state Premier League or to one of the leagues, how does one even go about it to show interest that this is something that I want to be a part of?
So there are various levels to be a part of it, and I think taking it to the states is a great way to bring more people into sports as well. And yeah, I'll admit it, sports has been quite regionalized till now. There are pockets of places and spaces where sports is happening, which is largely in the metros. But I think the state-led approach is great. And I think here is where, if people want to get involved, it is basically a buy or try party format that is followed in these state leagues. So you will have an organizing agency who's organizing it professionally, which is great, by the way. And it'll be in association with the state federation or state association of that sport. So if it's cricket, you will be working and it'll be led by that state cricket association.
Okay, got it.
So they are the leads over there. They professionalize it, which is good, by getting professional agencies on board, and they are in charge of bringing in the potential investors, and the talent comes in. Talent is provided by the board.
Okay.
So anyone who has played in that state will be applicable in some form or the other. And then the organizing agency is supposed to find the kind of investors in it. That's one way to look at it if you want to invest into state level events. But if you want to participate in management or any other way, I think local hiring hoti hai. And that is where the gig work also comes in. So I was just mentioning earlier also that where it's so popular amongst the youth, gig work is a very big thing in sports as well, where young talent is going event to event to be as part of a ground ops team. And it starts and it finishes. That's how sports is, right? You have one tournament, it lasts for 2-3 weeks, it packs up, it goes. So I think from that perspective, there's huge opportunity on, equally I would say, on investment and employment in this sports ecosystem, and state level events has really led to that as well. आप ओडिशा को देख लो क्या क्या हो रहा है वहाँ पे in sports. So I think उसको लेके अगर हम चलेंगे, then honestly the state is a great starting point for any sport to flourish, and there are certain states who have led that way as well.
Yeah, and I think that also underlines the fact कि ज़रूरी नहीं है कि आप अपना state या अपनी जगह छोड़ के इसके लिए कहीं बड़ी city में आना पड़े, right? You can and work from wherever you are, and you're right. I think there is a mandate almost at a state level where they're trying to intentionally promote local talent and support it, and it's a great avenue of experience. Like आप वहाँ से सीख के आगे भी जा सकते हैं, और नहीं तो वहीं पे भी the growth opportunity is there. So in addition to all of this, can you talk a little bit about Khelo India and the government initiatives, because I know you also work with them.
Yes. So I think honestly, I'm saying the Sports Authority of India is doing a fantastic job with various initiatives that they're doing. A lot of things people don't even know about. So I think they do underplay it, but they're busy with doing the actual work. And Khelo India is one such initiative, and uska main purpose ये है कि हम grassroots talent को लेके आएं in the system. So Khelo India is played in various levels. So you have it on a schools level, college level pe hota hai, interstate hota hai. Interstate is great fun because then the state to state rivalries come through across different disciplines. But when I went for my first Khelo India in Assam in 2020, and now I've done about 4-5 of them, the sheer scale of it really amazed me. It blew me away to see how many people are coming. And can you imagine कितने logistics लगते होंगे कि ये 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 तक जो athletes आ रहे हैं उनको कैसे manage करेंगे? It is no less than an Olympic level in terms of just the volumes that you're dealing with.
And it's the sort of like the funnel feeding talent.
Absolutely. So what happens is, when the talent emerges from Khelo, the next step is for the state federation to look at it, for their own individual sports state federations to look at them and absorb them. But at least Khelo has actually made it come up. Now the job is connecting the dots. Is the state federation using that as a talent pool? Yes, in some disciplines, yes. Maybe in all disciplines it should be. And then from there it goes to state, from state it goes to national federation, and then the athlete qualifies for whatever sport they want to go to internationally. So there is that talent pool which is going to go up, but there's a lot more work to be done. It can't just be put on the shoulders of Khelo India. It is one initiative, we need many. And here is where corporate involvement can also be of huge help, because what happens is, till now, corporate involvement has been largely towards the elite athletes, where it's more about the last mile. But I think where India really needs to look at it is to have a bigger talent pool of athletes, where the recognition of talent comes in much sooner on the school level. So there are various factors to that, but because it is not as glamorous, very few people take up, and it's a very difficult job as well. Very few people are taking it up or finding the kind of skill to be able to scout for talent as well.
Actually, scouting for talent in itself is such a massive, I think, a gap. Like, you're absolutely right, in India. And internationally, I was a part for a while in the US, and my college was fairly well known for its basketball team. And I remember that, and the funnel from not just the basketball team, but even the women's Olympic hockey team was pretty much from my college. And the way they used to train, invest, and there was such pride in it. So I think still I feel the little bit of a gap is jahan pe bhi thoda risky hone lagta hai. You know, the tendency is to say, if we're not certain that this is going to be completely knocked out of the park, or this is the only option we have, that is when most people are choosing, I think, outside of certain sports still in the country. Versus, you know, let's give this a shot and see where it goes. And I think, to be very honest, I really have to call it out to Neeraj Chopra. I think he has really changed the game into something like, I did not even know that javelin hum khelte the. Like, you know, till he won that, and individual sports and an individual sports person has become that important versus just the group sports that we've played. And I think it really, I think the big challenge with anything that the government does is that we have to understand it takes a gestation period. There's a reason 5-year plans hote the.
100%.
Utna time lagega jab tak wo cheez finally aap on ground uska
This
result
holds true for sports across the board. So if you think that you want to invest into sports, don't think you'll get returns tomorrow or next year. It takes time. So an IPL also took a little while for the league to stabilize as a concept. And people don't remember that, but it's true. And similarly, a Kabaddi League, an ISL, they took time for them to develop that proof of success. It will not happen overnight. So if any of my friends ask me, hey, everyone's doing it, let me go and invest in a team in a league, and will I make good money? I was like, no. Please don't do it for the money in the first few years. Do it for the passion of getting into sports. Eventually, yes, you will make money, but it will take time. So for an idea, for ROI, for everything to come through, it takes a lot of consistent application, and there is no moment marketing happening here. Is what I'm saying. Yes, there is some, maybe around certain events and all, where, you know, suddenly you hear about a Neeraj Chopra only because he won a gold.
That's true.
But there was a journey to Neeraj Chopra, and it took an entire village to get him to where he is in terms of the kind of scouting that happened for him, the kind of support he got from JSW Sports, the kind of training, rehab he went through. And what you see is just the end result.
The final product,
Exactly. So it takes a lot to back athletes in non-traditional sports to look at it from a long-term perspective. And now I'm really glad to see a lot of corporates also now getting into that space beyond the whole typical cricket branding and, you know, my job in sports is done.
So talking about the corporate side of it, again, is that also a good, viable job options? Like, are the large corporates now looking to build out their own sports, like you said, arms or ecosystem, and for that specific talent?
Absolutely. I think there are a lot of jobs out there, because a lot of corporates are going quite big on the sports side. Most of the big corporates that you'll see today in India have a sports division or a sports arm. It could be on any level. It could be purely from a branding perspective that they've chosen to invest into branding themselves in various different sporting entities, and people are managing that portfolio for them. Or it could be something deeper, like what JSW Sports does, where I've invested into infrastructure, I'm going to invest into athletes, I will invest in a few leagues as well, and then take that entire ecosystem and build a sports division. Now you can imagine the kind of jobs that they need to be able to fulfill that entire spectrum of work that they are doing in sports.
Right.
Similarly, Reliance will be doing that, Adani is doing that. So all of your top corporate houses today are investing into sports, not now purely from a branding or a CSR perspective, but as an entire division of their entire business. So I think that is where the opportunity is. They're looking for talent. A lot of the talent is cross-pollinating from other industries as well.
Right.
But I think now is the time to grow a very sizable pool of talent within the sports industry.
Within the sports industry. And so playing off of that, कई बार लगता है कि शायद इसके लिए, like you said, if you're starting from day one, you may need a specific lens or some skills to understand the ecosystem, which is now, I would say, still early but maturing way more than what it was. I know I am Rohtak का एक MBA है in sports, right? I think it's a focused MBA in sports. Are there more such courses out there where someone can learn specifically skills and about the industry as they try to enter?
So I think now there are a lot of options out there, especially in the postgraduate space. I would say not really as much in the undergraduate space, which is fine. Bombay में institutes हैं, दो institutes हैं in fact. One is called the Global Institute of Sports Business, where I'm teaching a particular module. Bangalore में एक नया institute खुल रहा है. Online बहुत courses हैं. तो जहाँ पे accessible नहीं है, you can also find courses online. Calcutta has a university as well. So now what's happening is even the existing universities are seeing that demand coming in. So they're developing programs. And a lot of professionals are being approached because sports is a very hands-on profession.
Right.
So a lot of the learning is on the field, on the job.
Right.
However, there are certain skills you can learn, and especially the technical aspects of sports. So whether you're looking at sports science, sports psychology, I think those specializations also come in at a next stage.
Yeah, at a PG level.
So I think it's interesting when you're bringing it up. There are two very different skill sets that I'm seeing required for sports. One is a little more advanced, where you're doing either management training or communications on a postgraduate level.
Right.
And then you have like what I call the gig work,
Right.
where you can be deeply involved very quickly in life by being part of the events and being part of the ops. Because with more sporting events, the requirement for good ground staff is there, and it's in volume. So I think it offers then that entire spectrum that whether I'm on a very basic level or I'm on an advanced level, I will find something to do in this industry.
And I think हम लोग ये बात भी कर रहे थे कि जो आपका स्किल सेट इवेंट्स को मैनेज करने के लिए होता है, वो ऑलमोस्ट लाइक अ मूवी प्रोडक्शन सेट की तरह होता है. तो वही तरीके से जैसे आपने कहा था कि 2-3 महीने आप काम करें, देन यू कैन टेक अ रेस्ट फॉर अ लिटिल व्हाइल एंड देन it could be on to the next gig, right? So with all of this currently happening, there's also the manufacturing goods. Part of it, wherein interestingly, I did not even know myself कि इतना बड़ा था. I think 2020 से अब तक 2027 में जाके हम almost double हो जाएंगे in terms of the market for manufacturing of sports goods in India. So वो भी आपने देखा है कि as the need is growing or as the leagues are happening and more people are playing, like for example pickleball, I think last 2 साल में,
massive now.
right?
Yes.
And उसका I think I'm sure जो सारा gear है वो पहले नहीं था. So it's almost like a new sport that's come out of nowhere. So can you talk a little bit more about that segment also in India, how it's growing?
Absolutely. So I just feel as in how sports is growing, not just in the competitive sport, but even participative sport. The numbers come from participative sport actually. That's when it's viable to start mass producing and manufacturing. So I think certain manufacturers have always been around. Look at SG for bats. They're coming from a smaller part of the country, but everyone knows that bat. People aspire to buy that product. You have T10, which is doing apparel. You have Costco, which is doing sports equipment since years. And it's a traditionalist company, but they've been around and I've seen their manufacturing. It's fantastic. It's like any other global entity. So they're also looking at exporting from that perspective. Look at Stag. I've been working a bit with the management there, and they, of course, are known for table tennis. But now with pickleball, suddenly they've completely also added that to their skill set of being able to produce infrastructure and equipment for pickleball.
Right.
So I just feel there's, as in how opportunity grows for sports to become more and more participative and part of our culture, the demand for sporting goods and equipment is going to grow manyfold, and not everybody is looking at imported goods. A lot of the global brands are also manufacturing in India as well. So that's another part of it. You don't have to have your own brand to be part of the manufacturing movement over here. You can be working for global brands who are mass producing over here as well. Running has become such a big thing now. So all of the gear that you need for running, whether it's apparel or shoes, has to be made somewhere. So that is there. Cricket is huge. So I just feel there are these pockets of things which have really exploded in India, and hence the demand and hence the manufacturing industry for it. And then you move into equipment, and then you move into infrastructure. Sports infrastructure needs to grow way faster than it is at this point in time. You will only know a handful of infrastructure companies who can specialize in sports, and you need to understand laying out a field or laying out a court is very different from setting up any other infrastructure. So you do need a sense of specialization into it. So I think those specialized companies which are global are looking at India. There are new Indian companies coming about as well, but that is a bit of a need gap right now. But on the manufacturing side, I think it's happy days. There is scope for new brands to come in. To break the market is difficult because the international brands are offering more competitive prices by producing here. So that's pretty much where it's at right now. It is a huge space to explore. And I think the fact that, again, when you said sports is entertainment, athleisure is a space which becomes far more applicable to everybody. So I may not be playing any sport, but I'd love those sneakers which cost X, right? So I think from that perspective, it's widened out and there's massive opportunity here.
And I think, again, बिल्कुल जैसे आपने कहा, there is the whole aspect of obviously a job in sports, and then there is the business aspect or entrepreneurship aspect to sport. That as well, like you said, you can build from anywhere, and a lot of the times I think you don't have to reinvent the wheel, right? आपको सब कुछ नए से बनाने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. Becoming a vendor, becoming a part of the value chain in itself is sometimes a large enough piece of the pie. And that as well is growing. I think the manufacturing support that's happening at a state level, a lot of focus is there with manufacturing 4.0 as a big, focus by the central government. अब आपको areas मिल रहे हैं, industrial areas, काफी
special economic zones are coming up.
SEZs are coming up.
In fact, we were having a chat. So I'm part of the FICCI Sports Committee, and in that, a lot of the manufacturers were talking about why can't we look at an SEZ for sports manufacturing, which just allows for us to have the kind of spaces and amenities that we need. And that was an interesting thought.
Why not? Yeah.
So things like that are coming up.
That is, and then the other aspect to entrepreneurship now, because at the Bharat Conversation, we talk a lot about startups, is startups in sport. We were talking about sports tech and startups in sports. So tell me a little bit, because I know you see that very up close and personally, that क्या क्या आ रहा है and किस तरीके से focus है. I know you also talked about some fun. So let's just sort of explore that.
So I think there is an emerging, I would say the word emerging, ecosystem for startups in sports. And you need to understand where you want to fit yourself in. You're absolutely right. Don't reinvent yourself. There's no pressure for you to come up with a eureka moment at all. You can just service the current need and there's enough out there. You just need to identify the gaps. But I think there's a lot of scope for a new company, like how I started out, for example, with absolutely nothing, to build out over here if you're just focused on what is that service or value add that you're going to provide.
Right.
And once you narrow that down and build a good value proposition, then to take it for being funded is actually an option that you have right now. So I know for a fact Dream11 has a fund which is looking at sports startups and trying to encourage them in the ecosystem. I know that there is another fund called Center Court Capital, which is only looking at sports tech startups and sports startups, generally speaking. And I think there's huge opportunity here. I started my own new business after all these years thinking that, okay, there are need gaps I can address. And now that one understands that ecosystem, it's not difficult to think of those ideas as well. So I think there's huge scope, but you need to know what you're serving for.
So in sports, I definitely feel like you had broken it down पहले कि एक तो आपका athlete optimization है. I think you were talking about athlete management software, which is there. Then there is obviously aggregator infrastructure management as a separate thing. And I'm sure there's so many more that haven't been explored. But it's definitely, I personally feel when I look at stats like, I think I was reading that when Neeraj Chopra was, going in for his throw, it was 5.1 crore people on JioCinema. That is a ridiculous number.
That was a good number to watch.
That
I was
and
very happy to see that.
yeah, and
Also, on those 2 days when he did the throw,
yeah,
and I looked at the Times of India sports pages, I was so happy to see not one cricket coverage had come.
yeah,
That is rare for a country like India, where
true.
if I have 4 sports pages, 3 are cricket, 1 is all other sports.
yeah,
That day there was nothing on cricket, and I was like, yes, finally, Olympic sport has had its moment.
yeah,
But you see, what did it take for that to happen? You
Yeah.
need a winner.
yeah,
You need people to perform. So everything said and done,
yeah,
an ex-athlete did mention this during the Olympics, that till the athletes don't perform,
yeah.
how much can we support this movement?
Hmm.
This is not charity, it's not CSR.
Yeah,
This
it
is genuinely a serious business.
Hmm.
And for that, we need genuinely serious performers. That's how people end up watching a sport.
Hmm.
Even in leagues, unless you're showing the best of that sport, who'll watch?
Hmm.
You need your audiences.
Yeah.
So I think for that audience, performance is something that you can't do without. That's like,
Yeah.
there's no compromise on that, basically.
Right. And that shows the fact that, even from a business perspective, I remember when I was on the marketing side at some point in time in my life, I was, a marketeer, and I remember we used to try to buy media spaces, right? TV advertisement space. I am sure the numbers now, for the showcase of any of these Olympics or any of these tournaments, the price would be way more high than any of the TRPs that you're watching for any of the serials or
I really hope so.
I'm
really
pretty
hope
sure.
so.
We haven't done the
Yeah.
research yet, but I would
Yeah.
assume so because there's
Yeah.
an absolute focused attention, and then that translates back as revenue. Because, like you said, unless it's the business is making sense, you're not.
Absolutely.
उस सब के साथ मुझे लगता है कि स्पोर्ट्स टेक में अभी भी वो एक्सेप्टेबिलिटी धीरे धीरे बढ़ेगी बिकॉज कंज्यूमर्स हैं बिकॉज दीज नंबर्स आर देयर टू बैक यू there is a lot of possibility as someone who's building it out. I have recently myself seen quite a few startups, and it all usually starts with a passion project because you're very passionate about
This
that
industry
sport.
calls for passion.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone can be involved in it, whether you're taking it seriously or
Yeah.
not, without the passion for sports.
Exactly.
So I
And
think
it's
that's
a very
must-have.
totally right. So a personal use case that then translates into something at a larger level is what it is, and it's very, very exciting. Okay, so Neha, interestingly enough, we have this fun section called Gulli Danda.
Wow.
Very serendipitous now that we're talking about sports
It
here.
suits the conversation.
It really does. Pithu used to be my favorite, not Gulli Danda. Never played that sport.
That was so much fun. I remember playing it.
Yeah,
as well.
Pithu, right?
Yeah.
So that was the first question. What was your favorite sport growing up?
Swimming.
Oh, really? So did you
Yes.
put just recreationally?
Till state level.
Okay, wow.
Enjoyed it as a child,
हाँ.
and I still enjoy it a lot, but not competing with
तो
it.
आपने ऐसे ही कहा था कि मैंने कभी कोई स्पोर्ट्स नहीं किया, then state level is legit.
But वही करके छोड़ दिया.
हाँ.
It wasn't anything that serious, but definitely I enjoyed swimming a lot.
Yeah,
out of all sports.
It's a good sport and it's a good workout.
Yes.
So tell me, who's that one sports person you would want to meet, या जिनसे either you want to meet, you haven't met now, or someone you met who left quite an impression on you?
I think someone I've met is definitely Neeraj.
Okay.
And though he's way younger than me, I think he's very inspiring for all of us.
Yeah.
Just the kind of personality he brings naturally. It just suits the kind of personality you need to be a great sports person. So, and it's very natural. And I really like that about him. Someone I'd like to meet is Federer. I have great respect for him.
Yeah.
I love the kind of person, the kind of athlete he is.
Yeah.
And I've met a lot of athletes, touchwood, even international, but he's one athlete who's yet on my bucket list. I want to meet him.
Very cool. Very cool. So, Neha, if you weren't into consulting, was there any other profession, or rather, let's say, even PR and communications, कुछ और आप करते?
So I think, and maybe I'm totally wrong, I love to teach.
Acha.
And even though my kids don't like it at all when I try to teach them, but I think I would have loved to give back in some way. So I think teaching certain subject areas, I was always good with the languages, for example. I would have definitely got into some form of teaching or the other.
Very cool. So you have started that with, you were saying, the institute in Bombay.
Yes. So I have always regularly done guest lectures.
Lovely.
And whenever I get the time, I take that time out completely out of the passion of giving back to the field to go and give guest lectures, to create modules for different spaces,
Right.
to sometimes build evaluations as well. So I just feel that if people have a good education and a good experience when they're doing a course, that really goes a long way to make them good professionals.
Cool. So now we were talking about so many different Premier Leagues. Which one league do you think is not there yet and you see it as coming up as the next one?
So, I've been in talks with a group of people who are setting up a rugby league
Rugby
in
in
India.
India.
And I
Very
think
interesting.
that's interesting. So, one way to look at it is you bring in a completely new sport and use that to bring an exposure level of a first kind. And rugby is a very interesting sport. So, I think that would be an interesting one to look out for. It's going to come up later. Another sport where I feel there's huge scope to develop it as a league potentially could be, I know Kho already has a league,
Acha.
but I think I'm surprised to see the number of countries that play the sport.
Oh, really? I did not know it
Yes,
is played outside
yes,
of
I've
India.
just learned this myself. So I'm like,
Kho-kho.
okay,
Acha.
if that's the case, then I think they really need to amp up more awareness about how many countries are involved. You would think it's very largely Indian.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But no, we have quite a few, over 20 countries where you play the sport. So those kind of things
Really?
fascinate me. When I see a very traditional, at least in my mind, a very
Yeah.
indigenous kind of a sport then being played internationally. Even kabaddi, we have so many international players coming into the league from other countries, like in South Korea or from Iran. And when I see Indian sport percolating or external sports coming into India,
Right.
that's what leads to the newness and the dynamics which I like to watch.
Very interesting. Something I learned. मुझे नहीं पता था
Yeah.
खो-खो और कबड्डी के बारे में outside of India. I
Yeah.
thought it is very
Yeah.
India only. So tell me something. What is your favorite memory from your school life?
From school life, like I told you, I was more on the cultural side,
Right.
heavily so. So a lot of theater, a lot of music. We were a group of kids who did a lot of inter-school competitions in music, especially. So I think those 2 years of 11th and 12th were just packed with all of this. The studies were there, but they were by the way.
Yeah.
And though I did fairly well, but I think a lot of my time was spent on these kind of things. And I think those would be my favorite memories as well, which I carry on. Yeah.
And what if you had a free pass to go to any sporting event, like the best seats, which one would it be?
Oh my God, there's so many.
One.
But one, funnily enough, probably would be any cricket World Cup
Really?
final. Yes, that, and I would say equally so the Wimbledon.
I was thinking the Wimbledon when you
I would
said
say
with
the two.
Federer to see
I would
Federer
say
back.
both equally because see, cricket is India. Wimbledon is globally one of the best.
Yeah.
And the third would be an NBA match as well because I
Yeah.
saw a glimpse of it when they had the India games when they came in 2018.
Yeah.
It was so high energy, so charged. It was wonderful.
It's super fast. It is so
And it's
fast.
super fast. So that's great. And something I already have the privilege to watch a lot of sport, which I love, is hockey. I love watching hockey live, and we get to do a lot of that. So I'm grateful for that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I would have, for me, I think definitely, I would say NBA or a soccer match, like a football match.
Yeah. Football's a lot of fun to watch
It's
too.
a lot of fun.
Especially if you're in Europe, I think that's where again you get a feeling that it's a carnival. It's not just the match, it's the surround sound around it, which is just incredible as well.
Yes, I agree. So tell me the one experience you've had which probably was very prolific for you. मतलब आपकी work life में ऐसा कभी कोई experience हुआ जो आप which sort of either pivoted you or underlined whatever you were doing extensively, interacting with someone said something that really stuck out to you?
So, I've been working with the hockey teams for many years now. It's been almost 8 years. And we get to tell their stories. And when we get to tell them, we get to hear them too.
Right.
And a lot of these athletes come from very difficult backgrounds. There's an athlete whose father was a rickshaw puller, who then became the national captain. And she got her house built then.
Wow.
In a state where women are still facing a lot of issues. So I think those kind of stories of women empowerment really move me through sports. There are other athletes who didn't even have enough money to buy equipment and were borrowing equipment and then ended up being in the national teams and representing the countries, winning medals. So I think the prolific moments come is when you're hearing them tell a story on a platform you've created for them and you're grateful that you get to do that. And that may sound like an everyday moment, but every day I feel it. So every time I am allowed to tell an athlete's story and for people to be able to hear about them, for the fact that you know about a Neeraj Chopra today, I feel I have some part to play in that.
Right, why not? Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. And I think doing them that service that um, sports and entertainment will only come a long way when these athletes are treated the same way a Bollywood star is
Yeah.
treated, right? So I would love to see those personalities shine through, for them to get commercial success, and why not?
Yeah.
A lot of debate is going on right now is whether brands should be allowed to celebrate Olympic athletes without paying for it or not. Should they be allowed to call them for these functions without paying for it or not? They should pay for it. If you're going to pay for a Bollywood actor's presence to grow the value of your event, an Olympic athlete has that much more credibility, that much more work behind them to be able to also shine in those moments. So I just feel that if I get to be part of that process of giving them what's their due on the most basic level, it's a prolific moment.
That is so true, and that is lovely. In fact, I feel like a lot of the I'm so happy to see कि इतने सारे जो अब athletes हैं और sports people हैं, they have started participating even on the startup side. So Neeraj is with OTT, stage OTT. So we had Vinay, and he talked about how it was such a good, meeting.
It's a great fit.
Yeah, absolutely right.
And he's so regionally proud, which is what I love about him. वो कभी भी English में नहीं देगा interview. So whenever we go to him, whenever we've tried global things with him also, he's like, I'm comfortable in my own skin. It's not that he can't speak or anything, but he's very comfortable in his own skin, which is very regional.
Right.
And that's what makes him so lovable, because he's so authentic.
So accessible, yes. I think that's very, very important. And I do feel though there is a change. I mean, even in the Olympics, right, with Vinesh Phogat's story, I had my son ask me about the whole story, which I thought was amazing, because kids don't.
वो बातें चल रही हैं अब. Now children are talking about sports. I think it's become cool again for kids to know about sports and talk about sports. So I think that shift is happening culturally, where, think about it, sports is such a positive space.
Yeah.
And if I get a bit of a rub-off event as a brand, or rub-off effect as a brand, or anyone, I think it works well for everybody. So I just feel people are now dialing towards it, which is always going to be that very positive impact space. You want your kids to play sport today.
Yeah, it teaches you so many things.
It teaches you so much. So I just feel that over time, people have built their aspiration towards sport, which probably wasn't there earlier. But we still have a long way to go to make it long-term viable for more people to participate in it.
And the last thing before you go, I know you have a podcast as well on women in sports.
Yes.
Do you think abhi bhi there is somewhat of a gender disequity in terms of, or inequity in terms of the women versus men on the support side? I'm not even talking about the sports people here.
Absolutely. On the support side, it's very reflective as well. And I also feel it's because of a bit of misinformation, if I may call it that. A lot of people think that it is a male-dominated industry. It's not. Otherwise, I wouldn't have survived all these years in it. And I know so many other very talented women who have survived, but still the numbers are very small because of the perception problem. Most women perceive this as a space that may not make sense for them. And that is the whole purpose behind the podcast as well, to show people quite literally that there are amazing women in the industry. There are amazing avenues and opportunities beyond being an athlete in this industry, equally for men and women. And I just want more girls to come in, for sure. And whatever it takes to do that, So I think a lot of it is awareness building, just to begin with.
I think it's a great place to be. It's a great time to be in sports. So thank you so much, Neha, for being on the Bharat Conversation and sharing all of this information and helping us understand कि actually ये कितनी बड़ी space है and how it's such a right and ripe time now to be a part of it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.